When you take a look at this trade, who won on this side? Is it the Dallas Mavericks or is it the Lakers?
It's the Dallas Mavericks.
Breaking news out of the NBA, the Mavericks are expected to fire general manager Nico Harrison at 10 a.m. Central.
The leadership that we have is really elite, and you'll see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competing for a championship.
Washington straight line drive. Oh.
When a franchise icon hops on national TV and basically calls your whole organization a straight-up circus, you know things have crashed hard. And that's exactly what went down when Dirk Nowitzki, the same man who dedicated 21 years to Dallas, sat there and completely blasted the Mavericks front office. Dirk is the type of guy who never talks messy, never throws shade, never jumps into drama, but even he couldn't stay quiet anymore. What he dropped on Tuesday wasn't just some critique. It felt like he was giving a eulogy for one of the wildest collapses we've ever seen in NBA history. So let's run it back to February. Dallas had just come fresh off an NBA Finals trip less than a year ago. Luka Doncic had this team buzzing, and the Mavericks finally built a real squad around him. They had the wings, they had the defense, they had the lob threats with Gafford and Lively, plus they picked up Klay Thompson to fix their shooting issues from the Boston series. Everything was fitting together like a masterpiece. Dallas opened the new season strong, going 14-3 in the 17 games leading up to Christmas. They weren't just good, they were finally hitting their rhythm at the perfect moment. And then, Luka got hurt. That injury ended up being the last time he ever wore a Mavericks jersey, because Nico Harrison, the general manager, made the shocking decision to blow everything up and ship Luka to the Lakers. Just think about that for a second. Your superstar takes you to the finals. Your squad finally looks balanced. The chemistry is working. The fans are hyped, and instead of riding that momentum, you trade him away for Anthony Davis, a player who's been dealing with nonstop injuries for years.
When you take a look at this trade, who won on this side? Is it the Dallas Mavericks or is it the Lakers?
It's the Dallas Mavericks.
The leadership that we have is really elite, and you'll see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competing for a championship.
I just feel like they got robbed of actually seeing the end, seeing this through, seeing Luka develop, into hopefully a champion one day. And it feels like they never got to see the end to this. So this was very heartbreaking. And but now it's I think it's time to move on.
Trade details. Lakers got Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. Dallas got Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. On paper, a few people tried to convince themselves Dallas might survive if Davis somehow held up. But here's the problem. Anthony Davis staying healthy is like flipping a coin that's mostly broken, and the Mavericks went into this knowing that. So what happened next? Exactly what everybody besides Nico Harrison seemed to notice from miles away. Davis showed up to Dallas and immediately started falling apart. Out of a possible 42 games in half a season, he only played 14. But check this. 2 of those 14 games he left early due to injuries, so technically Anthony Davis has only completed 12 full games as a Maverick. Just 12.
This trade just made no sense. It made no sense to them, and really there was no explanation for it either. You go to the finals the year before. You gave up all these assets to build really the team around Luka.
You are a Mavs legend. I know that your phone has been blowing up. Why did this move have to happen?
Well, I think there's just too many distractions, too much going on to keep going this way. This move should have probably happened this summer, honestly. I didn't want this negative energy and this black cloud over the Cooper Flag era, but here we are now.
And here's the craziest part. He hasn't played 5 straight games for Dallas, not even once. Meanwhile, Kyrie Irving hasn't touched the court all season, and Klay Thompson is looking nothing like the player he used to be. The team that was supposed to be chasing a championship is out here struggling just to stay in the playoff conversation. And this is where Dirk Nowitzki steps into the picture. Once the news dropped on Tuesday that the Mavericks fired Nico Harrison, Dirk went on TV and unleashed everything he'd been holding in. He said this move should have happened in the summer, not right now in the middle of the season. Months ago, Dirk was already hinting at trouble, saying the team was dealing with too many distractions and that there was a heavy cloud hanging over everything before the season even got rolling. But the real knockout punch came when he said the Luka trade never made sense and that nobody ever gave a straight explanation for why it happened in the first place. Dirk didn't dance around anything. He called out the whole decision-making chain. This is a man who spent 21 years being the perfect teammate, the steady leader, the respected face of the franchise, and even he couldn't justify what went down. That tells you everything about how messy things got. Dirk basically exposed the core issue. The Mavericks spent years building around Luka. They sacrificed assets to bring in those switchable wings, the defensive stoppers, the lob threats, all the pieces fans had been begging for. They actually fixed their weaknesses after the finals loss. The fans were locked in, the city was buzzing, and it finally looked like Dallas had a real shot at finishing what they started. Then suddenly, Harrison yanked the whole foundation apart. Dirk said the fans feel robbed, and he's right. They never got to see the real ending to Luka's Dallas story. They never got to see if he could rise into a champion with the team that believed in him. That entire moment was taken away, and the wild part is it was taken away by the team's own GM. But Dirk wasn't only bothered by losing Luka, he was also upset about what Dallas got back. Anthony Davis isn't just someone who deals with injuries. He's basically a walking warning sign with a contract that could put the franchise in a chokehold. He's one of the highest paid players in the league this year, and every season he gets older, the durability concerns get louder. Davis is in his mid-30s now, heading into year 15 of his career. Even during his New Orleans days, at the height of his talent, he wasn't the most reliable piece to build around. He never pushed those Pelicans teams to that true superstar level. And now, almost 10 years later, with more injuries stacked up and more wear on his body, he's supposed to be the centerpiece of a championship run. It just doesn't make sense. And here's the part that should worry Dallas the most. His trade value might be the highest it'll ever be right now. If the Mavericks hold on to him another year or two, they could be stuck with a 35-year-old center making over $60 million while barely being able to step on the court.
Washington straight line drive. Oh,
So the Pelicans. Black turns down the three. Oh, Klay Thompson lost it. So at this point, the mission is obvious.
Fire Nico! Fire Nico! Fire Nico!
Washington straight line drive. Oh,
Nobody in the league is going to trade for that. The comparison to Kawhi Leonard fits perfectly. Both guys are insanely skilled when they're healthy. Both keep bouncing from team to team without finding a real home. Both enter every season with huge expectations, and both end up leaving their teams hanging at the worst possible moments because they can't stay available. Look at the Clippers with Kawhi. The past few years, he's been more of an anchor pulling them down than a leader lifting them up. If Dallas hangs on to Anthony Davis through 2027 and 2028, they're lining themselves up for Kawhi 2.0, and Dirk sees that coming clear as day. But the Anthony Davis issue is just one chapter in a much bigger mess the Mavericks created. The real problem hitting this Mavericks squad is simple. They don't have any identity at all. Just look at the roster. Their three veteran stars are Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson. All over 30, all dealing with injuries, all fighting time instead of fighting for a title. Then swing over to their young pieces, Cooper Flagg, Derek Lively, and Max Christie, all under 23 and still growing into who they're going to be in the league. You've got two totally different timelines crashing into each other on the same team, and that never works in the NBA. You can't chase a championship when half the roster is built to win right now and the other half is still learning how to dominate. You have to commit to one direction, not split the whole franchise in half. Here's the harsh truth that history keeps proving. Teams built mainly around superstars over 30 almost never win championships anymore. That's not an opinion, that's decades of evidence. And here's the next uncomfortable truth. When a team tries to play two eras at once, it fails even faster. And Dallas is trying exactly that right now, and you can see the results every night. If you're a Mavericks fan watching Anthony Davis get hurt every few games, watching Kyrie miss the entire season, watching Klay Thompson struggle to keep pace, the answer couldn't be clearer. Ditch the aging core and lean fully into the new era. Embrace the Cooper Flagg timeline and start stacking pieces around the young foundation. There's only one veteran Dallas should keep: Kyrie Irving. He still has real skill left, and if he can get healthy, he brings leadership on the court and can help guide the younger players while still being a major offensive threat. Now there's one veteran they should absolutely move on from: Klay Thompson. He's just not the guy he used to be, and holding on to him for nostalgia doesn't help anybody. Sometimes you have to accept that the past is the past, and the one veteran they need to trade as fast as possible? Anthony Davis. His value is still decent right now, but it's falling quick. If Dallas waits another season or two, they might not be able to trade him at all. Get young players, get draft picks, get anything that helps build a real future. Because keeping Davis means chasing short-term dreams instead of building long-term success. Cooper Flagg is not going to be Luka 2.0, and that's okay. He doesn't need to be Luka to be special. Flagg has the talent to become a multi-time All-Star and a true franchise cornerstone in his own way. And here's what makes this even clearer. Dallas fans don't have any real emotional connection to Anthony Davis. He's been a Pelican, a Laker, and now a Maverick. There's no sense of home with him. He just moves from team to team. He's basically a temporary star passing through, and the city feels it. Why would fans pour their hearts into someone who might be gone in 2 years or too injured to play? The smartest move is moving him right now, rebuilding around Flagg in the young core, and finally starting something that actually belongs to Dallas. Dirk's comments on Tuesday weren't just about bad trades or lineup choices. They were about respect. Respect for the fans who stayed loyal through every rough season, every rebuild, every heartbreak. Respect for the city of Dallas. Respect for the franchise he gave 2 full decades of his life to. When he said this move should have happened in the summer, what he was really saying was clear. Nico Harrison never should have made that Luka trade to begin with. That black cloud Dirk mentioned wasn't about mood swings or locker room noise. It was about a front office decision that went against everything the Mavericks had been building. It was about taking the future away from the fans and replacing it with an aging star on a contract that weighs the whole franchise down. And the fans aren't going to just shrug it off like some people try to tell them. Dirk said it himself. This fan base is passionate and loyal. They rode with him for 21 years through the highs, the championship parade, the tough years, the rebuilds, all of it. They deserved more than this. They deserved to watch Luka's story unfold in Dallas. They deserved a front office that recognized what they had in their hands and didn't toss it aside chasing something that never made sense. Instead, they ended up with a GM who panicked the moment an injury hit and pulled off one of the worst trades the league has ever seen. And now the Mavericks aren't just struggling in the standings, they're struggling with their identity, their direction, and their purpose as a franchise. Dirk said the team needs support right now, and he's absolutely right. But before the fans can fully rally behind this squad again, the organization has to show a real vision. They need accountability. Firing Nico Harrison is a beginning, but it's only step one. The next GM has to look at this roster and make the tough calls. Move Anthony Davis while he still has trade value. Let go of the older veterans who aren't pushing the team forward anymore. Go all in on the Cooper Flagg timeline and build around the young core with Kyrie Irving acting as the bridge between eras. The blueprint isn't that complicated, even if it's rough. You can't have one foot in the win now with older stars era and the other foot in the youth development era. That mix never works. And Dallas is living proof of that right now. For the Mavericks, the direction should be crystal clear at this point. Build around the young guys. Give Cooper Flagg the time and space to grow into the player he's capable of becoming. Surround him with pieces that fit his age and his game. Keep Kyrie around to provide leadership, skill, and mentorship. And anyone who doesn't align with that vision, they gotta go. Yeah, it sounds ruthless, and yeah, it's not easy, but this is the NBA. It's a business, and winning takes tough decisions. If the Mavericks want to get back to championship-level basketball, if they want to rebuild trust with a fan base that's hurting right now, if they want to bring pride back to Dallas again, they have to commit to a real direction and stop dragging dead weight behind them. This was the only path left, and Dirk Nowitzki didn't step into this role because he wanted to. You could hear it in his voice, the sadness, the frustration, the disappointment, all of it. But somebody had to speak up. Somebody had to call out the front office for one of the most confusing, head-scratching decisions we've seen in recent NBA history. Trading Luka Doncic less than a year after a finals run, right when the team was finally clicking, just to bring in an injury-plagued veteran on a massive contract? That's the kind of decision that ends careers. And now, it finally did. Nico Harrison is out, the dark cloud over Dallas is starting to fade, but the damage is already done. It's going to take years to rebuild everything that fell apart because of that one reckless February trade. Mavericks fans deserve to watch Luka grow into a champion in Dallas. They deserve to see that final squad run it back, make tweaks, and come back even stronger. Instead, they got Anthony Davis playing 12 full games in half a season. They got Kyrie stuck on the injury list. They got Klay Thompson struggling to keep up. They got a front office that sacrificed the franchise's future for a gamble that everybody except them knew wasn't going to work. And now they've got Dirk Nowitzki, the greatest Maverick ever, going on national TV and saying out loud what people have been thinking for months. This whole situation has looked like a straight-up circus from the beginning. The real question now is simple. Can Dallas learn from this mess and actually build something that lasts? Can they finally walk away from the failed veteran experiment and commit fully to the youth movement? Can they trade Anthony Davis before his value drops off completely? Can they build a culture that respects the fans and the franchise instead of making panic moves that push everything backward? Only time is going to tell, but one thing is clear. Dirk Nowitzki just made sure nobody can ignore what went down here. He told the truth even though it hurt, and that's what legends do. They speak up when nobody else will. If you're rocking with this breakdown, make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more.